Don't have Mona or Kokomi but want to have a Ganyu freeze comp? Are you willing to put in a little more effort in getting those chilling freezes on your enemies? Then look no further than Chungyun's boyfriend, Xingqiu. This is the freeze Ganyu team I will occasionally use when I need to break up my melt Ganyu, or to permafreeze things, because I don't have Mona or Kokomi. Hopefully that changes soon, but let's not think about the future, let's get on with this team and hitting that like button to help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. Let's begin. First things first, how viable is this team? Well, I have managed to get 9 stars in Spiral Abyss with this team. As of recording, in the current Abyss Floor 12, this team can work pretty well in the second half of Chamber 1 and 2. Apart from that, you will have to make the decision yourself after watching the rest of this video. This Ganyu team is very similar to the Melt Ganyu team I usually use. The only difference is replacing Xiangling with Xingqiu. Since that is the case, I won't go into too much detail going over Ganyu, Diona, and Venti, as they are very similar to the Melt team. The only difference here is that Venti can work as a standard DPS build just fine instead of the EM if you so choose. As someone that likes to play around with different teams, and doesn't like the hassle of constantly changing artifacts around, I leave my Venti with its EM build, and that is perfectly fine. Xingqiu in this team is built pretty standard, sack sword for energy particles, and high investment on ER. 200% is a safe range, but I opt for a little more damage instead. With Diona having a sack bow and Venti being a pretty decent battery as well, you will not be short on gaining energy on the whole team. This team is played similarly to the Morgana team. The big difference here is that you are required to auto-attack to get Hydro application on enemies when Xingqiu Burst is activated. For the rotation, it's pretty similar at the start. You want to start with Ganyu EQ, and then switch over to Venti and do his EQ to proc VV on Cryo. You may also start with Diona first to activate Noblesse with her EQ and follow that up with Venti's EQ, but I prefer the former for this team, so that you have more Noblesse buff, uptime on Ganyu's charged attacks. After Venti's EQ, go to Diona and do her elemental skill and burst, and then finally go to Xingqiu and do his burst as well as activate his elemental skill twice. From there, go back into Ganyu and do a single charge attack followed by a normal attack to get the freeze. You may repeat that one more time before rotating through your characters again to build up your burst and do it all over again. It should be noted that freeze up time won't be as good as other teams due to Xingqiu's cooldown. If auto-attacking on Ganyu is not to your liking, you could always switch into another character like Xingqiu to get some autos on. And if you really want to go tryhard mode, you may want to auto-attack with all your characters at least once after doing their elemental skill when Xingqiu's burst is active for a little more damage, and more consistent freeze while doing your rotation. And it's as simple as that. If you have been doing Morgana this whole time, curse you, then you might have some trouble adjusting with your muscle memory. But with time, this rotation won't feel that bad. Auto-attacking with Ganyu will always feel a little awkward, but you have options to auto-attack on other characters if you feel like it, at the cost of losing some DPS for not doing it on Ganyu. That being said, let me know what you think of this team by leaving a comment down below, and if you want to see another Freeze Ganyu team overview, I do pair her with Barbara and Child as well, so let me know if you want to see those by leaving a comment down below. And until next time, adieu and goodbye.